Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and the fellas are here with me today. Hello, Damon Williams. How are you?
I'm doing great. Do you know I've been trying to tell you a joke for the longest that I saw um, in Hawaii? Do they allow you to laugh out loud or just aloha?
Ah!
I say I'm gonna start today with it today.
I love to start off
I
with a
keep,
funny.
I kept forgetting to tell you I saw that goofy joke.
All right, Cameron, the bar has been set. What you got?
Okay, all right. What do you get?
Nothing, I guess.
Nothing is what I got too, Damon.
I'm doing great this evening.
These are either dad jokes or 5-year-old jokes that Cameron's got in his pocket. But, whatever. Thank you so
We'll
much
take.
for that. Are you guys good? How's the weather treating you? Is it warming up in Chicago at all?
Yeah, it's actually unseasonably warm. We're above our normal, and I walked the dogs and didn't need gloves.
Wow. Okay. Well, that made it a little difficult when you're scooping, but okay.
That's the thing. I definitely scoop, and I definitely had my gloves, but I didn't need them. But the other day, this lady, and we know she's got this big old German Shepherd, Miss Kim, and we love her, but she can't control that dog, and that dog almost got us. It attacked me, came toward the tree, and I had to fight him off, and it was crazy. So now I carry a stick like the old folks.
Oh my. Do you have any people in your neighborhood and they know who they are, who do not pick up after their dogs, and knowing that this certain size dog leaves a certain amount behind?
Yeah, everybody.
Oh,
I think we
okay.
the only ones that scoop.
Okay, well, we have a detective who follows people to make sure that they are doing their due diligence when their dog does theirs.
Oh, that's like the shopping cart narc. You ever seen his stuff online?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, people that don't put the carts back in the cart holder at
Uh-huh.
the shopping store. Yeah, he runs up on them. Cart narc. It's a hilarious series of videos,
Oh my
and
God.
some
Yes.
people get really mad at him.
God's forbid.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lady the other day ask me, "Would you like me to take your cart back?" And I was so just across the driveway, to put the cart. And I said, um, uh, "Yes, thank you. You don't get people doing that anymore." And
You
and I've
don't.
never come up against the cart narc. And I'm not sure what I would say to him. Like,
Yeah, and be careful with people being nice nowadays too. So
that's true. That's
yeah,
very true. Yeah. And once again, I don't think about that. I'm thinking about, not carrying a purse with me when I'm out anymore. I'm thinking about, people leaving little things in your car doors, and with some drug or something to knock you out, or checking your tires and all that kind of stuff. But that's on the wrong side. And now, as you say, you just got to be careful with everyone. This woman offered to take my cart, and maybe I should have said no.
right. I got
I'll,
it.
I'll put my own damn cart back. Thank you.
Nice try, lady.
Ha,
What's up, Cam?
Oh man, everything is everything. Just Quinn's home, so both my sisters will be for Thanksgiving break. So it's been a pretty good social experiment as we all have moved into one house just to see how we all gel. And we gel pretty
and in
well
the
when
new house.
yeah, yep, in the new house. So um, the women have been just really been putting me to work. This past yesterday, I had to cook several people breakfast, and then I had to pretty much be host. Um, and I was wiped out by the afternoon.
You
But
were host in
um,
everybody's home.
yes, yeah. Uh,
And hosting means you had to prepare breakfast. Is that something
prepare
that
breakfast
happens?
and prepare dinner. Yeah.
Is that something that happens over the holidays? Is that a normal part of your?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was yesterday.
Okay.
So um,
Well, you got that out the way.
yeah. So now that that's done, looking forward to just helping set up things however it is that I can. And Friday isn't really much of a day off for me because I've got a whole lot of other things to do. But I plan to use the time constructively, get some writing done. I'm going to write a scholarly essay, I think, over the weekend.
I've never known anyone to prepare for their week saying, and this week I must write a scholarly essay.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
going to Birmingham to tell some jokes. So
Well,
scholarly
let's,
essay.
yes, he's got you beat there too.
Yeah.
You got the jokes, he's got the scholarly essays to work on. So there you go.
Word.
Let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our daily newsletter in which we super serve the African American community with information and empowerment. And this is absolutely free. We would love for you to subscribe, and it makes a wonderful holiday gift as we're coming up on Black Friday, and well, every Friday is Black for us. But please go to SybilWilkes.com and give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And Khameron Riley, you are up first. What the heck is going on at Twitter? Will it survive the Elon and the Donald?
Oh, yeah. Twitter is in shambles right now. Elon is a part of the billionaire camp that is very much against remote work. And so he demanded that everybody come back to the office or take 3-month severance. Luckily, people at Twitter know their worth, and they know that there are plenty of other data-driven companies out there that are willing to pay them. So in the company Slack chat, everyone was just encouraging everybody to walk out. And because Elon is a billionaire, if you take 75,000 workers, that is the estimated total of people who quit, and multiply all of their severance pay, they charged Elon a pretty heavy dime. Not to mention, a digital activist broadcast a message across Twitter's headquarters calling Elon all sorts of obscenities. It puts Twitter in a state of flux. A lot of users are reporting increased spam activity. There are a lot of people who are just posting free movies on Twitter, free songs on Twitter. So everybody, this is not advice from my FBI agent, because my FBI agent Carlton watches me like a hawk. But if your phone has a screen record feature and you didn't watch Black Panther 2 yet, it's on Twitter. So that is to say, Elon has also tried to reinvigorate activity and faith in Twitter by reinstating not only Donald Trump, but Kanye West, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and a few others on the ban list. He is still sort of pilot testing this blue checkmark subscription feature. And while I think that Twitter isn't going anywhere because it's too essential to the way we communicate, I do think that Elon will probably step down as CEO, not so much as owner. So those of you who are on Twitter, just be super careful with who it is that you engage with. Twitter isn't being policed not nearly as much as it used to since the whole security staff just left. Likewise, this is a perfect time to examine what role the social media platforms kind of like play in our lives. There are several billionaires out there who are touting the forthcoming of a recession. And let's just make it plain. These billionaires want a recession so that they can become richer later on. YouTube only recorded $4 billion in revenue last year. Meta has been bleeding money, and Twitter is in a state of flux. These social media platforms know that ad revenue just doesn't hit the bottom line anymore. So there's going to be some very mass innovating on social media platforms in the years to come to keep us engaged. So to all of us out there, it is important now more than ever to choose how you engage and who you engage with on social media so you can make the most out of your time.
Is it safe to say you won't be going to Truth Social?
No, I will not.
I
Okay.
think it's time to start memorizing phone numbers again.
That too. It's
Hey,
time to
how
get
you
back to
doing?
it.
Right. Because we don't know anybody's numbers, and you just you can find them on Instagram or you can find them on Facebook. Yeah, okay. Might get the black book back out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Speaking of Black, have you guys seen the new app for Black Twitter? It's a young woman who has developed a young Black woman who has developed this app. And my girlfriends were going through this the other day and getting it. I'm trying to find her. Her name is Jordan Webster, I think. Trying to find her because I'm very curious about this project. And and everybody else, went ahead and signed up for it. But I love it as an option, not Black Twitter the way we know it on Twitter, but this is, like referring to everybody hanging out at the cookout and stuff like that. And they have a question to ask you before you are allowed to sign up. Like, what is it that you add to your grits? And it's you have your choice between sugar and salt.
Right.
And if you give them the correct answer, they're like, "Come on in, the cookout's waiting for you," that kind of thing. So it's really interesting, and I like I said, I am really hoping that we will be able to find this young lady, and because I've been trying to DM her and all of that kind of stuff, and not able to, but I think it's a good option because everybody is saying these things about Elon Musk and him having a what is it, Khameron? They had a vote to whether Donald
A
Trump should be
poll.
allowed back
Yeah.
onto Twitter, and
He barely won it though,
but
which is, I
millions of
think, a good
people.
thing though. But yeah, millions of people want it back on.
And I'm not willing to pay $8 for a check mark verifying. If everybody can pay $8, then what's the point? The point is to line Elon Musk's pockets. And also, I came across a story, Khameron, just this afternoon about him doing the people in Africa wrong, in Ghana. CNN is reporting that he hired like a dozen people in Ghana, and then just a few days later, when everybody else was being fired, he was firing them too. And they're like, "No," he fired everybody with the exception of one person. And they said, "No, player, you got to pay us. We have to get that 3 months as well, and it's in the law. It's the law. You will break the law if you do not give us the compensation and all of that." So check that out as well. It is Brian Scott. Sybil, don't forget fan base app owned by Isaac Hayes III. Yeah,
Oh,
thanks, Brian. That is also absolutely true.
Yeah, I was in jest when the day that it was announced that Musk was allowing people back on, and was when everybody was saying there was a lot of people using the N word clearly and freely, that we get it's a time for an actual Black Twitter. I mean, there should be something called Black Twitter, an actual social
Yeah.
site for Black people. It don't have to be Twitter, but a place we can call our own, just like BET sprung up before Viacom bought it out. But
Have you seen the picture of the family that owns BET now? It's Sumner
yeah,
Redstone.
it's hilarious and tragic.
Yeah, exactly. This is it's an interesting time to be a part of this whole social media world, but we're giving it our best shot. This is a Black version of Twitter, and it is built by a sister. And as I mentioned, trying Black Twitter app. If you go to your apps and you sign in there, you get Black Twitter. You get this particular app there. So check that out. All right. How's our time? A couple more things I do want to talk about. Watching this horrific nightclub massacre at the LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs. This is a situation that has a lot of different layers, as they gave the 5 people who were killed by the masked gunman. The interesting thing is how the people were referred, the different pronouns that were used out of respect. One transgender man, one transgender woman, a heterosexual woman, and a heterosexual man were among the 5 victims that were killed. And the young man that was killed, young heterosexual man that was killed, was there with his girlfriend, her family, and they were celebrating a birthday.
Mm.
The girl's father was the one that stopped the gunman. He was at the door. He's the Army veteran that took the gunman down. And a drag queen stepped on the gunman with her stilettos to stop him from, going any further. It was a great combination of folks trying to stop the madness and looking out for others. This is not something, I was talking with Chris Paul last night, and as he pointed out, when you're going out to have a good time, you're going on a trip, or you're going, wherever it is, going to a birthday party, you just don't think that you won't come home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to people. One person said that their neighbor knew that this club was where they hung out. They were planning to go. And the neighbor stayed up all night to see this person that went to Club Q come home that night.
Mm.
Yeah, it's rough. And the question here is, where do you find a size 16 stiletto?
Custom made. Have you ever seen the play Kinky Boots? That is a great question, but the drag queen did the job. The size, whatever this was, it could have been a 12, 16, 22, but stopped the gunman. And the gunman, the Army veteran that took him down, said he was a big guy, and you could see that in pictures of him coming out of the house when they were called there because of a bomb scare by his mother. And why?
Yeah, he also just said on the news that the gunman is still alive, but his family member isn't, and he was trying his earnest to kill this guy because of the senseless life that violence that he imposed on people.
Yeah.
So kudos to that brother for stepping up, and doing what he had to do. And of course, it's my job to make light of situations, but that is a question that I had, is where you find that big ass shit.
That's real. That's real, Damon. And a query for so many people in that business, because this place was known for their drag queen shows, and now there are, on the serious tip, there are places that are the conservative communities are trying to shut down because they have now what's known as drag queen bingo.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
and see, the difference. I'm assuming in drag shows, which is not, it's not even about a gay lifestyle. It's a performance. It's there are women that dress in drag as women, but they have the elaborate costumes and the makeup and exaggerated look. So for the bigots out there and the small, narrow-minded people to attack that, I mean, it's ridiculous. Just like here, we have Baton for years,
right?
And it wasn't like a den of gay activity. I was there with on a date, and the young lady took me as a surprise because I had never heard of it. This was back in the day. Mm-hmm. But we sat there and just and watched the performance, and we went on about our business. So it's really unfortunate that it's so many negative people out here with such narrow minds that they'll impose violence on large groups of people randomly. I mean, people are driving through parades, and it's just, where do you go? What do you do? Group gathering in a group is scary these days.
For a 4th of July parade, so just imagine the fear that people have during Gay Pride Month and the security that has to be put forth.
The Thanksgiving Day parade is going to be extra. They're changing routes and security procedures. I mean, the Boston bombing for the marathon. So it's just it's crazy when you try to go out with groups of people, how people attack a mass random sample of humans. It's crazy.
Yeah. And they just noted the anniversary this week of the man that ran through the Christmas parade in was it in Illinois or Wisconsin?
I think it was Wisconsin.
And
they threw a book at his ass.
They should have, because he was just,
he's not recoverable.
He's not well. No, exactly. All right, so let's move to what's really going on, and this applies to us, I think, and perhaps to others who are going through the same thing. So I could use some advice from you. And we are preparing for the holidays, just days away. Families coming in, family we haven't seen for a while, other friends, other family that we haven't seen. And it's not just preparing for the food for the table. We also have to prepare our heads for being around people that we're not that crazy about. It could be your self centered sibling, your aunt, or an in law who knows how to get under your skin. So, we're looking for words of advice or actions that you found has worked for you and how to make it through that day. What do you tell yourself? Or what do you suggest we do in the uncomfortable situations this holiday?
Limit the alcohol in the house.
Okay.
I mean,
Because
that's a good idea.
it
Yeah.
is, man, because that's what gets people fired up. And you might want to add a little edible to the brownie. So now everybody's calm.
That's chill.
Yeah.
No, baby, you can't have those. Those are adult brownies. No.
Yeah, but you definitely have to limit. I think we get together and we celebrate and we toast and we drink. But a lot of times when people start drinking, things get escalated. So it
Yeah.
might be something, that a drunk tongue might speak sober truth, and now it comes up at the gathering. So all jokes aside, let's limit the alcohol. Stick to sparkling wine and maybe a little champagne, a little wine, but keep that brown liquor out the house.
Absolutely. Clear only. But
I don't know, Jen.
okay.
Yeah.
The tequila will do it to you every time too.
Yeah.
Khameron, what about you? Have you experienced this? Do you have any words of advice, or have you gone through this and looking for some help in getting through the holidays?
I don't beef with any of my family members. My family members don't beef
But
with
you're the
me.
peacekeeper in your family.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just my role. But how I usually like to go about these type of times where there's like micro aggressions, and take this with a grain of salt, because Lord knows what kind of skeletons are in people's family closets nowadays. I mean, generations of just like unspoken truths and compressed anxieties around certain issues. But
Right.
if you have been sitting with this for too long, if it's keeping you up at night, if it's sending your heart racing, then that is a sign from the creator that you need to have a conversation with this person.
Mhm.
And there is no shame in being the bigger person, being the initiator, and just coming to that person and saying, hey, for this day during this time frame, can we try our best to keep it cordial
Yeah.
and love each other? And that's it. You don't have to solve any beef. You don't have to squash it. But these holiday gatherings mean something, and you have to think about the future. Think about your children and your young family members who are going to try to keep up these traditions,
Right.
and whether they will or they won't comes down to your actions as an adult.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. Khameron prayed for us at the production meeting the other day, Damon. We needed prayer, and gave us gave us really great prayer. But he really is and has. I think you both are possess this kind of calm head, along with the laughter and the ability to get along and to flow smoothly through the craziness.
Yeah, that's typically my role with the family as well.
Yeah.
The peacekeeper, the mediator, the calm force. And luckily I don't have any issues with any of the people of our group that will gather, but there are like different little things bubbling between sister and brother, sister and sister, brother and mama, sister, little stuff. So but we've been working through our stuff thanks to COVID, actually.
Yeah.
'Cause my mother prayed that before she left here that her kids will all be united and be good and have good relationships. And she just acknowledged, maybe on our last Tuesday, every Tuesday we still do a group chat.
Mhm.
I mean, a group Zoom, family Zoom. And she was so happy to see us all laughing and getting along, and her prayer was answered. So I'm like, so Mama, you prayed for COVID, huh? You are
You're the one.
you brought COVID to the world just so we could get along, huh? Because she's on the main line. So
Okay. Okay.
you gotta watch
Uh,
what you pray for, Mama.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Fauci will be very interested in hearing about that.
Yeah.
So, Yolanda, if we have any suggestions, our peacekeepers here, Sylvia Crawford on Facebook says,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
staying home and not inviting guests.
Sure.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Gotta
I
do
don't
it.
blame
That is one way to stay out of the line of fire, to spend the holiday alone. But do you really want to be alone, Sylvia? Carolyn
Make-
Jones Jameson on Facebook says, stay on the other side of the room after the initial greeting. Socialize with other guests. It
Too many
works
steps.
for that one individual. What do you guys think about that? Staying, in your zone.
That's cool until everybody sits around the table and the conversation starts to flow, and you like, pass me the cranberry. She heard me.
Perhaps they're just like gone, but like perhaps they're just like gone by dinner or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
that's way too many steps for me.
yeah,
Take a plate and go and leave before it all gets crazy.
Yeah, be one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave with a little gumbo and I'll be good. I'll be
Oh,
just
cool.
fine. Yeah. So if we have any other suggestions, I'd love to see those. This question is as we are getting ready for the holidays. Sheila Faye on Facebook says, be mindful of comments and criticism. You never know what people have been going through or are still going through.
Yeah.
And that should be a part of our prayer too. As we're there, Lord, please let us be mindful that others are going through some things. Let us, come with open hearts and minds. And Renee Woodridge says on Facebook, limited political discussions.
Everything's political.
Everything
Sorry.
is political, whether you're talking about a gay club, where this horrific thing happened, or if you're talking about just taking a trip to Georgia. Well, I'm not going to go if
Right.
Herschel Walker wins, and I like Herschel Walker, and then it just kind of, goes from there. George Wallace said the other day that he's worried about his niece who really likes her some Herschel Walker, and he just can't understand it. And I was like, oh, this is going to make for a really good holiday. And of course, this is something that has been going on for like you said, Damon, during the pandemic, talking about people still wearing masks. You don't have to wear a mask. We're all good, and conversations about that, and there's just so much.
I had to explain to my grandmother before we went to go vote why the abolishment of cash bail was a good thing, because back in her day, you do your time, you get charged about like $100 or $200, and then you go on your way.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, bail money is supposed to teach people a lesson. And I'm perhaps in your day, Grandma, but now, people get caught with like, nickel or a dime of weed, and they're getting charged $10,000, $20,000. It's
and due time.
Right. Yeah. And I explained to her how it's been historically weaponized against Black people. And she was like, oh, okay. So that's the way that these things are now. Yeah.
Plus,
Grandma.
you got to understand, in her day, it was $100 or the rope. So,
oh dang! Oh,
you might
dang.
want to pay bail.
The alternatives, yeah. That's putting it in a whole different perspective, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Charlotte Bowen Bellamy, when you have a sister and husband who always have Tupperware sets out before dinner begins, well, we just serve their to-go plates for them. No words will be spoken.
Oh, so she pre-prepares the
yeah,
Tupperware.
She gets ready. She's ready for them.
She meal prepping.
Yeah.
That'll be dine and dash.
Meal to go prepping, right?
Right. At least that way you can limit it, because I don't know if they're listening, but my wife has a cousin, and the younger generation, her cousin, her age, they all grew up together. But one of her cousin's kids came over here, him and his lady, and they wiped us out. She didn't cook a whole lot of food because we usually end up throwing some away. So she cooked just enough for us to have leftovers tomorrow. But they came and ate, and then they loaded up and wiped us out. And so now you got to monitor that. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like in buffets. It's like
yeah.
it's you eat what you want here, and there
Right.
is no
Right.
takeaway. Sorry, it
Yeah.
just isn't. Dr. R on YouTube says it's so important that we show each other love because we never know when it will be the last time, and that's something
Yeah.
that I talk about in the Thanksgiving newsletter
Yeah,
about,
and I just didn't want to say it out loud, but I thought that at first because you never
yeah,
know when you see. It
yeah,
might be the last holiday gathering for your
that's
people,
right,
but I
that's
didn't want
right.
to put that bad juju out there.
Right. But Damon, we did talk about Sinbad, and that was a big part of it. Sinbad's been going through this process with his health for 2 years, and he's
Yeah,
battling back. And it's a long, difficult struggle.
Mm.
And luckily, he is, according to his family, he's making those limbs that were dead, he's bringing them back to life through
yeah,
rehab and things like that. But there are so many people who are not going to be here, as Dr. R said, next year or the year after. And that is a harsh reality. But we do want to give thanks and some grace to those people. There are some families that just can't get together, even for the holidays. You see fights and shootings around the holidays too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure do.
dang, shootings though.
Yeah. Well, just like you have your keys, and if people are drinking, you say you got to put your keys here, and then you can come in. And if you're going to have an adult beverage, or you have to have a designator, we have to have a lock box for our guns.
Oh well, yeah, that's Texas for you.
Mm.
Oh, I think Chicago could learn something in that respect. I'm just saying. I know.
See, I was thinking of the legal guns.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. However you got them,
right.
Lock them up
lock them up or leave them at the house.
before
Yeah,
the Hennessy starts pouring.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, yeah. Especially when the juice. Dr. R is right, says Carolyn Jones Jameson. Half the stuff most families disagree about is petty at the end of the day. Anyway, that is true.
Yeah.
so
That
petty.
is true. Because you think about, well, mom, why don't you talk to aunt and so and so? Well, she didn't like your hair as a baby, and I didn't have hair.
Right.
That was the point.
Yeah, it can be some petty little things.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, she thought I was too dark for your daddy. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Brenda, I've heard that a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
Brenda Brooks Perry says, when your home is peaceful, it's easy to stay home alone. That is the truth, Miss YouTube. You're absolutely right. When you are at peace in your home, it's very easy, and it's going to take a lot to get you out of your peace zone.
Yeah, and then people are gathering smaller or just whomever is their immediate family at home.
Mhm.
That happens too. And then the older we get, the more we have our own families and in-laws. So it's not just everybody can just go to mama's house all at once.
Right.
So those dynamics take place. But when whoever is gathering with whomever, just remember why you're doing it. It's not just the food, it's the chance to see and hug and love upon each other. And we need more of that more than ever now.
And if our conversations haven't shown you that in the goings on of the world, then we're not doing our jobs in informing and empowering people. But life is so short. It is just so short. And there used to be a book out, was called "Every Goodbye Ain't Gone." That's not true. There are many goodbyes that are finals, and you don't want to leave anyone on a bad note, because you just never know, and that will mess with you for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll mess with you for a very long time. All right, guys. Well, I wish you all a very peaceful holiday. Khameron, are you cooking?
This year, no. I'll probably just help, set things up, make sure that the space is all welcoming.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year, no.
Anybody wearing masks? I'm going to be wearing a mask. I'm just, this whole quadrivalent and triple demic thing with the COVID, with the flu and with RSV, especially as it's affecting young children and babies. This has me a little freaked out, I got to tell you. So I will be off, kind of going around my mask to eat because it's dangerous. And a lot of people are not vaccinated, or kids coming from school, and all of the germs that are they're little petri dishes is what they are. So
Yeah.
sorry. All right, let's move to trending. Thank you so much for participating in that. Let's move to what's going on in the headlines. Damon, you mentioned you have a gig coming up. Where else are you going to be?
Well, this weekend, all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at the Star Dome in Birmingham.
That's
And
big.
then I'm coming back home for Riddles the following weekend. The only other trips I have planned will be December 11th in Fort Wayne, and then New Year's Eve at the Richmond, Virginia Funny Bone. I am celebrating my 30 years in comedy in January at the City Winery, but those tickets went on sale Friday. And thank you to the people that bought over 100 tickets already the first day or two.
Nice.
So that place only holds about 300, so I expect that to be gone. And, I'm home for the holiday, then I'm off back to the road.
So how is it being someplace different for New Year's Eve? Because it used to be the Starplex, the Star Plaza,
Yeah,
where you reigned for
right.
New Year's Eve. I mean, you were married there. You had other things going on,
Yep.
and other events. How is it being someplace different for you?
It's not only different for me, and it's very different for me, especially to go to a comedy club. And I've done that. This will be the third time I've done that since the place closed. I've done two nights at the mega church with Reverend Meeks here at House of Hope. And
Hmm.
that was cool, because it's full, but it's not as festive. Um, but the difference more so is the people that used to gather annually. It was their gathering. So it was a tradition for families and big groups of people, because we would all get hotel rooms at the facility or across the street. So you would see people every year. So it became a tradition. And they're still asking, when am I going to pull something off and bring something back together? So I'm hoping for bringing in 2024 at the end of
Hmm.
2023. Between these new casinos we have springing up and other venues, I'll find something suitable. I could have done something smaller. I could have done something at Riddles, but it just wouldn't add up to what it used to be. And until I get something on that scale, I'm not going to try it here at home.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's well, I know it's going to be a great time. And for folks that are in the Alabama area, Birmingham, where Damon is going to be, please, please, please go out there and support him. And if your team loses that day, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to go out and have a great time and to laugh it off, as George
Exactly.
Wallace would say.
As George would say, laugh it on off.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right, young Khameron, what do you have going?
Oh, December 17th and the 18th at ETA Creative Arts Foundation. I've got a stage reading of my latest play. I posted it on my Instagram.
Right?
So thanks everybody who showed your support. Tickets are free. And of course, there will be a talk back as well. So you can hear me pontificate on why the play is so important now.
Another scholarly essay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm, mhm.
And there will be a lot of important people there. People from the Goodman, from Steppenwolf, from other theaters across the city, some city officials, some public health workers. So it's your chance to get all dressed up and look nice. And after that, we get right into filming for the movie
Awesome.
adaptation. And then I'm
Awesome.
taking a break from art
Are
stuff.
you? What does that look like?
Probably go take a trip somewhere, just realign with the fabric of the universe, and then come back replenished. And then I want to focus on my community affairs work at my job at UIC.
Okay. Okay. You got a plan. All right. I can't
He
wait to see
does indeed.
your vision board.
Yeah, vision boards all up here.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Excellent. And in your 3 journals.
Yes.
Great recall. So today was Dr. Fauci's final White House briefing. He had this briefing announcing that he was going to be retiring from one of his many jobs, and as a result, it was a bit of a madhouse. So it really is not your mom so much, Damon, that brought COVID about. Um,
I don't know.
we're not gonna put that on the evangelist. We're not
We're
going to
not.
do that. But it did become a bit of a madhouse in that people were trying to ask him questions, and when there is the reporter from Africa. You may see him from time to time. He talks very loudly, and if he doesn't get an answer to his question, he talks louder and doesn't allow other people to get their questions in. And so he and Corinne Jean-Pierre got into it, and she's like, I'm not going to call on you again. And, and he's like talking about the origin, and somebody was trying to talk about the origins of the coronavirus. And Dr. Fauci has said in the past, he thinks it's come from an animal species and things like that. It really kind of got out of control there. That's not the way you want to see a revered doctor who's been ahead of this whole process and this type of virus for as long as we've been alive almost. He's an 80-year-old man. He's taking time away from this, but it was just not a good way to go. I would still like to talk to him and not bombard him with questions, but still, I still think there's some questions that we have that we'd like to have answered by this special immunologist and virologist. So
some
I think
time off to cash in on that $1 billion book deal he got.
Yeah.
Sweet. And a parachute. He got a golden parachute, you guys. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, I think civility left the White House press briefings in the last administration,
right?
To be honest, because it came from the top. It was rudeness toward the reporters. So now it's they had to develop a rude tactic to get a question asked now. So now the civility is gone. And in Chicago, today is the last day for Alan Krzyzewski on Channel 7 ABC.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah, tonight's his last broadcast. And the only reason why I'm fond of him is because for some reason out of nowhere, he friended me on Facebook. And I'm like,
oh, you know what? Probably on your Windy City live shows.
Yeah, more than likely. But yeah, Alan Krzyzewski. And he was there for 40 years. He was the young buck on the news.
He really was, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing about Chicago newscasters. Once they get that job, it's yours forever. I'm telling you.
It really is.
Between the jobs and the soap operas on ABC 7 Chicago, you will be on TV forever.
and sometimes on Chicago sporting teams, the coaches are there for far too long. And even though they just got there, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I wanted to talk about, this news came out this afternoon. The Biden administration's Department of Education announced the student loan repayment pause has been extended again.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go, Joe.
As they're waiting for the Supreme Court to decide what they're going to do about this. Another 6 months till the end of June, Khameron.
So is that when it will resume and they'll start doing the payments, or is the stall has been stopped?
The pause continues until the lawsuits come to a conclusion.
So they're not giving the money now.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So it's not taking $10,000 or $20,000 off the top. It's a matter of nobody has to pay right now till we get all this straight. And all the people who are so angry that people are getting a break,
the haters
for real, man. Haters for real. But yeah, till the end of June 2023, Khameron.
All right, then. There we go, Joe. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Way to go, Joe. This is an interesting case, and I thought you would find this interesting too. Tom Brady and Steph Curry among the celebrities who have been sued over the FTX collapse. That's the popular crypto exchange app that they all endorsed, including Larry David, in encouraging people to invest in this app, in this crypto, and how people have lost all their money, and they are suing them for millions of dollars because they put their reputations on the line to encourage people to invest. And now it has become just a shadow of its former self.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. Well, for one, on the ad, Larry David is being skeptical, like, I don't know.
Right.
So that's his saving grace. But beyond that, when when we went over Tom, we got stuck in Florida, and Tom let us come by. He went to Miami Arena, which was the FTX Arena, was the naming rights. But when they got bankrupt, they took the name down. So Tom said he pulled up, and it just said Arena. So they had already pulled the plug on them 2 days after they filed bankruptcy.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It is crazy.
And I don't trust that cockamamie crypto coin bit money anyway.
Yeah.
Cam?
Even though I did invest in Coinbase, one of the people that sell the crypto, but I don't have actual crypto.
Yeah, I mean it's just a textbook market manipulation. You get a couple of smiley faces to guess like a certain stock, and it's unfortunate that crypto is unregulated now, and there's a lot of people who think that that's a faster way to make money than stocks. But you have to understand that in the scope of life is long, and you want your money to go long too. So always play it safe. And if a celebrity is telling you to buy something, it's probably not a good idea.
Well, because they were probably paid very well, and it's $1 billion is missing. $1 billion is missing, according to this class action lawsuit that was filed against the crypto investors suing FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried and several celebrities, including Tom Brady and his ex Giselle, Larry David, Steph Curry, and they alleged that the FTX yield-bearing accounts were unregistered securities that were unlawfully sold in the United States. And so a lot of scrutiny and reports that $10 billion in customer assets were shifted from FTX to this man, Bankman-Fried's trading company, Alameda Research, and at least $1 billion in client funds missing.
It's in an offshore bank in Acapulco. That's clearly where it is.
It's crazy.
Well, I don't know what FTX stands for, but I know what the FT. I know what the FT would be if it was me. But.
F2 this exchange, yeah. And give me my money back.
Yeah,
right? Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Oh my God, this is so bananas.
That's terrible.
Jeez, I swear. So this the number of celebrities that are involved. Shaquille O'Neal is one of them. Udonis Haslem, David Ortiz, Shohei Ohtani, Naomi Osaka, and as I mentioned, the reluctant Larry David. And that was part of the whole spiel for his commercial. The attorneys alleged that he enlisted them in order to facilitate the plan to bilk people out of billions of dollars.
And out of all of them, Udonis Haslem, he's got the least amount of money in that. He was like, I was just listening to Shaq. I mean, that whole list was a bunch of prominent people. And then he said, also, Udonis Haslem.
What?
He's been on the bench in Miami since Dwayne Wade.
At the arena. I wonder if he knew that something was wrong when he drove up to the arena.
Yeah, the arena.
The arena. Cameron, you've dealt in crypto. I'm not asking for your advice because I can't afford to lose anything at this point in my life and in my career. But is there a safe way to invest in crypto?
I only deal in the large coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're kind of like your Amazons and your Googles. They're
your
pretty
blue chippers, if you will.
Right. Yeah. They're not stable. They're just well known enough, and they're pretty heavily regulated. I don't mess around in any of the other like random pop up coins. But it's money is a tool, and it works best when it is in motion. You can learn absolutely anything on the internet. So if you have, first of all, don't invest anything if you're in debt. Period.
Right.
But if you've got some liquid and you want to make it grow, just learn your stuff, get a mentor, and then, welcome to the Wild West, baby.
Wow.
Because
So what do you think about NFTs?
I think NFTs are, from like an artist standpoint, I think NFTs just ruin the institution of fine art. I think NFTs are also just like a lot of like pump and dump scams. It's really terrible.
And NFT stands for non-fungible
Yeah,
trade
it's
or
a non-fungible
tokens.
token. So
Yeah.
it's a digital means of like authenticating an original work of art. So I would imagine if Prince was out today, he would make an NFT of Purple Rain, because it is the original digital version of Purple Rain, and then it would probably be worth billions and billions of dollars.
And it pays off for the artist, but not necessarily for the person that invests.
Yeah, for the person that invests, it's more of just like a social capital thing.
Right.
That like out of everybody else who has Purple Rain, I have Purple Rain.
Yeah. Wow.
So what you think about Beanie Babies?
Best investment of my life. I have all of them to show for it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just going down the line of all the hoax
hilarious.
been played on our people over the years.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about that the other day, Damon, and having to go and stand in line for Beanie Babies for my little cousins and all of that. Just crazy. Just crazy. Let's move to entertainment as if this hasn't been entertaining enough. Ice Cube, in a recent podcast, said that he lost a $9 million film job over his refusal to get the COVID-19 vaccine. He said he turned down a movie because he didn't want to get the MF and jab. This is an episode of $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. I turned down $9 million. I didn't want to get the jab. F that jab. F y'all for trying to make me get it. I don't know how Hollywood feels about me right now. He does not refer to the film project in question, but apparently he left the Sony comedy Oh Hell No after declining the request from producers to get vaccinated, made headlines, and the film, which hails from Bad Trip director and would have co-starred Jack Black, was set to shoot in Hawaii and required the cast to be vaccinated. Later in the podcast, he kind of doubled down here and clarified, and not doubled down, but moved down a little bit. He said that he didn't turn down the movie per se, and those MFers didn't give it to me because I wouldn't get the shot. I didn't turn it down. They just wouldn't give it to me. Well,
Right.
Cube.
Sound like Cube has some of that yay.
Some of that Good Friday-ish. So Cube, bless your heart. They just wouldn't give it to me. The COVID shot, the jab, I didn't need it. I didn't catch that ish at all. Nothing. F them. I don't need that ish. So
I mean, it worked out for him.
Yeah, but if you didn't
from a health
need it,
standpoint, but this has been a very interesting time because I had to go and get my booster in order to do your Sherry show, and I really didn't want to, but I felt like it was an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. It wasn't $9 million, for $9 million.
Come on, really?
We do a couple strange things for some change, but I mean, he's still bad. Plus, he can afford it. I mean, Q he's gonna be set for life if he's handling his money correctly. So he stood his ground, and it worked out for him health wise because now the pandemic has somewhat subsided. So I don't know.
9 million. Apparently, it hit him pretty hard. It wasn't the jab, but that 9 million still, he's still feeling the pain of that.
Yeah, he is talking about it.
Yeah. Let's close out with our jewel for the day. This is Yogi's Jewel, our daily inspiration. When good things happen, say thank you and celebrate it. So next time, take that gig, get the jab and take the gig. I take the $9 million.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, you guys have a wonderful holiday. I'm very thankful for the both of you and for participating in this on a regular basis. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday with your families. And my best to all of them, and to your mom there, Damon. Happy birthday as well.
Yeah, I was going to thank you. Ma, happy birthday. This is the last time you'll hear it on the Sybil Show for this year, but I mean for this holiday.
Yeah.
And yeah, happy birthday. Thank you for that.
All right, guys. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving.